Just make you reason up. Yeah, who be the youth, will be the future now. And we no care who get the 40 now. Cause all we want is better days. Oh, it tire me. But God go vindicate us one day. Oh, it tire me. Everything tire me. But God go vindicate us one day. Oh, it tire me. But God go vindicate us one day. Oh, it tire me. Everything tire me. But God go vindicate us one day. One day.
Stay ahead of the curve and get updates on the latest trends in politics, government, policies, education, economy, social development, amongst others.
We're happy to announce today that both the federal government and the organized labor have agreed on an increase on the 62,000 naira minimum wage.
Join
Ayodeji Ajishope
and
Adedamola Lafenwa
on from the Dailies every weekday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 FM as they dive into the headlines with in-depth analysis and feedback from you on different stories from the national dailies. Start your day by gaining fresh perspectives, uncovering the story behind the story, and join the conversation. Because your voice matters. From the dailies, the conversation never stops.
Alright, studio time check 9:34 on Solutions at 939 FM. My name is Adedamola Lafenwa. The program is from the Dailies on your super dial. This is where we get to take you through the front pages of newspapers, and of course the Salah holidays continue today.
Really?
Yes.
It's another public
It's
holiday
it's
today.
another public holiday today. It
I
doesn't.
saw some schools.
It doesn't look like a public holiday, but it's
saw
a
some
public
students-
holiday.
Oh, really? I saw some students in uniform this morning.
Probably they have some extra lessons or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay, it's from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM, and I have Comrade Ayodeji Ajishope live in the studio with me, and together we'll be running the analysis of the stories on the front pages of newspapers. Good morning to you, Comrade Ayodeji Ajishope.
Good morning to you, my dear comrade brother.
I'm sure we can still greet ourselves, Barakada Salah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, these holidays, isn't it worrisome? There was a holiday on Friday. We had a long weekend.
Another one is brewing up this week
Which one is
on Thursday. June 12th. Somebody once told me that Nigeria is a country that I was speaking with on Saturday, that was on Friday. I have a friend in UK, so I sent him a message and I was like, Funsho, Baraka de Salah, and the guy and I said, I hope you're enjoying the holiday. He now laughed. He called me. He laughed on the phone and he said, Damola, do you know that we don't do all these holidays? That every day is a holiday in Nigeria, but it's not like that in the UK. That it doesn't even look like it was a holiday in
It's
UK.
a private thing, you know.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
well, maybe Christmas and Boxing Day because of the society.
and he was even the one that reminded me that, you know, that like you guys have holiday on Friday, on Monday, and come Thursday again, you go on another holiday.
So within one
To do June 12th.
within 1 week, within in 5 working days, we have 3 holidays.
Nice one.
Nice.
Okay, well, now some Nigerians will say we need those holidays to cool down tension.
Okay.
To cool down tension.
Okay.
Okay, looking at the papers we have this morning, I have about 4-5 newspapers to review this morning. Looking at the Vanguard newspaper, and the first one on the cap headline says hardship. Nigerians cut spending on foreign travels by 30%. Page 19 has that story. And another one, Tinubu to Sanwo-Olu, your sins are forgiven as GAC visits president in Lagos.
The Godfather.
Page 10 of the Vanguard has that story. I mean, it was a very catchy headline. Your sins are forgiven.
That's the Godfather.
That's the
not
Godfather.
God the Father.
Okay, there's a difference between Godfather and God the Father.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, talking about the economy now, we were saying something before we came on air that there is a slang that, in this economy, you are still eating 3 times a day in this economy. And the Minister of Budget and National Budget and Plan and Fiscal Planning, that is Bagudu, said our economy is back on track.
I was listening when I was monitoring stuff this morning. I saw somebody, was screaming or was screaming and saying, "Where are they getting the statistics from? The statistics do not tally with reality."
Okay, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning. Okay, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Aliyu Atiku Bagudu. I said it, that our economy is back on track. But some Nigerians begin to wonder that where are they getting the statistics?
Yeah, even when they say the statistics do not tally with reality.
Oh, okay.
There was another story that 80 something billion was saved, over the years had been spent on subsidy. But I think there is no nexus. And those who are explaining these things, you understand? They are not connecting, with the people. The explanations looks superficial to the ordinary man on the street.
Definitely. Moving away from the Vanguard newspaper, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. And still talking about Bagudu saying economy back on track, but not yet Uhuru, says Bagudu.
See, there's a proviso there.
But not yet there.
Yeah.
Okay, says Bagudu. Okay. June 12, Tinubu to address National Assembly, confer national honors on lawmakers. Businesses leverage price adjustments to rein in forex losses, clean books.
You know
Page
that
6.
National honors now. As soon as you are president, you get GCFR. As soon as you are Senate President, is it the office that confers the title on them or their service? That's what I was thinking this morning.
While growing up, I've always thought that to get a national honor, it must have been according to the service you have provided for the country.
So it is now
your loyalty, your patriotism, and everything. Those are the rewards for
beyond the call of duty.
But now it seems that once you get to a political office, you are entitled to a particular
Governors
national.
get OFR. Chief Justices get CFR.
Well, a group of our lawmakers will be getting national honors in the course of the week. Interesting. Okay, moving away from that, troops uncover 27 illegal oil sites, arrest 43 in Niger Delta. Kwankwanso receives 1,230 APC supporters to NNPP.
Waxing stronger?
Waxing stronger. Ondo PDP berates Ayedatiwa's refusal to complete Akeredolu's project. We lost millions to Doba cancellation, Kano government laments. And the last one, let me take 2 more stories on the front page of The Guardian. Lagos political storm clears as Tinubu forgives Sanwo-Olu in GAC brokered truce. One more story from the front page of The Guardian newspaper. Serap Oriwa urged Tinubu to drop APC Rex, fear manipulation. A quick look at the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu to confer national honors on select lawmakers. Okay, to attend National Assembly special joint sitting Thursday. SEC warns public against investing in Punisher coin. Another, it seems another one is out. Punisher coin, dollar pawn. Okay, these are two platforms now that Nigerians are already putting their money. Will Nigerians ever learn?
Well,
We had MMM, we had a lot of them, and just this one, CBEX, and two new ones are out, Punisher Coin and Dollar Pawn. And Nigerians are already putting their money into this
yeah,
Ponzi
I
schemes
think, I
again.
think you see, there's a pattern. You know, people study patterns, and some people think the pattern is you get in fast and you come out fast, and you're good to go.
Before the door closes
Before the door closes and breaks people's bones and
and crush their bones and emotions. Okay, moving away from that now, looking at the Punch newspaper. Ground rent, 34 embassies risk closure Tuesday. And the riders on that, FCTA proves PDP, FIRS, others payments. Tinubu approved extension ends today. Germany, Russia, Turkey on defaulters list. Interesting. I mean, foreign embassies in Abuja are owing.
I mean, if we take each other for granted, why?
So why were we not blaming PDP? Why were we not blaming PDP on this platform that
so-
PDP was owing rent when the German embassy, German embassy, Russian embassy, Turkish embassy
Everybody will
owing.
take us for a ride if we take ourselves for a ride.
Okay. But I doubt if Nigerian embassies in those countries can ever owe a month of ground rent over there.
I have seen Nigeria's foreign missions in darkness. This-
Being cut off.
You know. I mean, now I like to just go off now. It's not as if you go and say
It's already programmed there. Once you are not paying, everything stops working.
I mean,
Interested. Okay, still from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. You can be a part of the program by calling the studio lines. The studio lines are 0912-222-2939, 0912-222-2939, or 0904-422-2939. You can as well drop your comments on our Facebook page, Solutions 939 FM. Now let's go straight to the first story I'd like us to talk about this morning. Your sins are forgiven. Tinubu to Sanwo-Olu as GAC visits president in Lagos. You know, sometime last week we were talking about the event that played out in Lagos, where it was captured in a viral video that President Bola Tinubu conspicuously ignored or snubbed the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
well, that was the only one that was captured.
Yes.
Even the arrival of the president. In fact, Sanwo-Olu was not supposed to be there at the airport, but somehow, he got to the airport and the president just ignored him and went straight to Amzat. And you remember, of course, then the second one everybody saw. And then the commissioning of a particular, I think it was Dangote Industries, where the president went to commission a concession road. And then ignored the man I was making references to. Thank God the deputy governor is here. Thank God the deputy governor. Of course, the cumulative effect of several events, of the past several months, and I think the public conduct of the president was below par.
Because the president seemed to make it look so obvious that there was something wrong between the two.
It was below par. It was so much below par that. But let me tell you that is a signal to friends and foes that the president will crush and run over anybody as we go towards 2027.
Okay, after the meeting of the GAC and governor of Lagos State, with they paid the president a courtesy visit, a Salah visit rather, and then they had a meeting. And after that meeting, governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, addressed the press, talking about what transpired between the two. Let's take a listen.
Well, nothing much. It's our usual, festive period, courtesy visits, and a time for Mr. President to meet with his brothers, leaders of our party, the Governor's Advisory Council, GAC of Lagos State. It's something that they're always looking forward to, almost at every festive season or every time it comes around. And this is no exception. We all came around to felicitate with him, to pray with him, to wish him well, to say to him that Lagosians and everyone is happy with him, that we can feel, we can see the impact of what he has done in the last 2 years. And so to wish him well and to continue to say that he has our best wishes at all times, support, and really that's the most important. And coincidentally, if I dare say today, for us in Lagos in particular, earlier today, I don't know if you had seen it, I went to unveil our new Blue Line trains. I'll give you the clip of it, where at the National Arts Theatre, which we just received brand new, 12, 4 sets each of 3 new set of trains for the Blue Line. And at that unveiling, which was we made like a naming ceremony, we actually acknowledge and thank Mr. President, because he actually made it happen for us. About a year and a half ago, he supported us and ensuring under, his intervention for subsidy removal and understanding that Lagos, will need additional means of transportation. He supported us, and that's just some of the things, we're talking about. So we're excited. We're truly, truly excited with what he has. And we're not just excited because he's our father, he's our leader. We're excited because we all can feel it, we can see it. For the first time, you see price of petroleum, pump price coming down. You see food prices coming down. So these are things that put money in citizens' pockets. So, if you've done well, let's say it. Let's say it. And I also want to use this opportunity to also admonish and to tell. We are hearing people also said in June 12, they want to protest. They want to then. There's what will be the basis? What will be the basis? And we're engaging them. We're talking to them to do what? In 2 years, give this president enough more time. The economy, you can see, has made a proper bend, a positive bend, and so all we need to do is to continue, to wish him well and see those effects, become reality, and the cost of goods, the cost of living, security of life and property, So these are the things that, we...
Excellency, it's good to know about this excitement and the pledge of loyalty and support. Any house cleaning at the meeting?
Well, nothing beyond the fact that he was very happy to see us, extremely very happy to see us. He was very excited that we are one big happy family, and we are not divided in any form, and we all honestly also pledge our full loyalty to him, to his government, as our leader, as our father, and it was unanimous. And he's charged us to ensure that the forthcoming local government election, which, we're all, that we should all go and do our very best and ensure that, we'll continue to keep the flag of the party flying.
That's what we need you to clarify.
Is you CND? Can't you see when you are smiling, I'm smiling? There's none. There are people that believe that they are more Catholic than the Pope. There are things that you see people, they cry more than they bereave. Father and son, are things that we always ensure that, we're clear. There's nothing at all. My father is my leader, and we're grateful that he has given us the audience today to come in and say hello to him.
The governor of Lagos State there, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, addressing the press immediately after the meeting with Mr. President in Lagos with the members of the GAC. And personally, I think I like the way he played it down. The whole situation. He said, despite what we have in the papers this morning saying your sins are forgiven, he said it was just a father and son issue. But now, some people have been saying that Sanwo-Olu seems to be smarter, a lot smarter than Ambode.
I think
With this move,
I think the times, there's an issue of time. The conditions in 2023, what Tinubu played on Ambode and tried to play on Raji Fashola, you understand, without success, he didn't have the space and the energy, to play it on. So they had to present a solid home front. You understand? If you are trying to get the governor not to get a second term, you understand, and you don't have you need total support. I mean, if your state somebody is running for governor, you don't have a governor on ground, because this man would have been sitting governor that was no longer the governorship candidate. He could undermine things. You understand?
we're talking about Sanwo-Olu now.
Sanwo-Olu.
Because Sanwo-Olu is running his second term now.
His second
So
term.
somebody will have said, anyone will have said, well, I don't need any Baba Sokpe again or any
No, it's a family thing. You need to be in the good books.
But Ambode failed to toe this path then.
Ambode,
Despite the fact that he was a one-term governor then, aspiring to go for a second term.
like I said, you see, time and chance happened to Sanwo-Olu. Tinubu couldn't have tried to get him out of the way. He needed to present a solid home front. You understand? If Sanwo-Olu was no longer a candidate and he had to support another candidate, you understand? He would have been not necessarily feeling good about it. Of course, he would have been bitter about it. So, the time and chance happened to him. And you see, the removal of Obasa with the support of 32 members shows that he got support. And it wasn't without the knowledge of members of the GAC, if not all, many. Yes, if not all, many. Because leaders of the GAC represent divisions and interests in Lagos. So those who are in the House of Assembly owe a quantum of their loyalty to members
Of the GAC.
who represents their division. You know that they are powerful.
But during the Obasa Miranda issue now, the members of the House didn't seem to be on the same page with the GAC.
I think the GAC had to publicly back off.
Because the GAC, I think the members of the House didn't want Obasa again.
Of course.
But the GAC were saying otherwise.
Well, publicly they had to back off. Twice they went to Abuja and the president refused to see them. So, I mean, the governor couldn't have done it with the support of the substantial number of members of the GAC, but under pressure, because they owe not necessarily their loyalty, but they owe their political lifeline to Tinubu. You understand? And the patronage they get, you understand? Their children, their families. It's all about patronage. So, I think it was a tactical error on the part of the president to have publicly done that. I mean, it is not done. But at the same time, you see, it is not time to start, playing hardball with your base. You know what happened in Lagos in 2023 now? I mean, he was defeated. People are suggesting that it was an inside. No, it was defeated. You see, some things you have to ignore and keep tabs on the guy. It's as simple as that. That public, it's not nice. The governor might be looking like a leper now, a political leper, and a man of virtually no influence anymore.
Okay, now, still talking politics, let's move away from Lagos State and go to Rivers State now. Now, a lot of people have accused Nyesom Wike of trying to replicate what Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the influence Bola Ahmed Tinubu has in Lagos, wants to be like that in Rivers State, wants to be the one to have the control of many, many things there. Now, recently, sometime last week, Nyesom Wike had another media parley, and at that parley, he insisted that he is going to be the leader, he's going to lead the campaign for PDP in Rivers State come 2027, and he's still going to lead, he's going to support or be a full support the campaign for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Abuja. Let's listen to it again, because there are reactions to that statement he made.
Your Excellency, you are operating on two theaters, the national level, and you didn't attend the last NEC meeting of the PDP.
There was no NEC meeting.
Legally.
No, I don't know about it, so I should attend illegal.
So, then, secondly, you are operating also in Rivers. Is there a possibility of is there a possibility at all, if you look at it, because now the emergency will soon expire, is there a possibility of you reconciling with the governor of Rivers? That's the first part of the question. Second part of the question is that we are moving towards 2027. How do you see your future in the PDP?
What is my future?
You are in the PDP.
Was I not in PDP before?
No.
Am I not in PDP? What is my future? Listen, I've told you this thing. Is it because of Aswaju presidency? Is it what they're talking about?
Yes, it is important.
Why do you have to ask me that? Don't you know that I
said that you want to run against him, in fact.
So are you not aware that I will lead the campaign in Rivers State? Why you want me to say no? Are you not aware that he did not get up to 10% here, but he will win here? Are you not aware?
Okay.
So you don't be asking me questions. You know. You know.
You are going to lead the campaign.
Of
in
course.
Rivers, okay. For the APC.
Is that hidden?
Okay.
Honorable Minister, sir.
FCT Minister there, Nyesom Wike, saying last week that he will lead the campaign for the PDP in Rivers State. But I think same last week too, similarly Fubara made a public statement apologizing to his supporters, to his teaming supporters, and it seems that apology has gone a long way, because I have a friend in Port Harcourt who sent me some clips. He said there is a new song in Rivers State now. The Rivers people have come up with a new song saying that all this cho-cho-cho, referring to Nyesom Wike, saying he's the leader of the party, that there is nothing like that, that their leader of the party or their leader whatsoever in Rivers State remains Simi Fubara. Let's take a listen at that song trending in Rivers State now. Latest trending song in Rivers State, no be cho cho cho, Governor Sim Fubara, now our leader. Now, is this not it's a obviously response to what Nyesom Wike said, that he's going to be the one to lead the party. What do you make out of what is playing out, the dynamics of what is playing out in Rivers State?
You see, we had that conversation here that Tinubu, the president, took the wind out of the sail, out of the political sail of the one they are calling Cho-Cho-Cho
Nyesom
in
Wike.
Rivers State. You understand? The president took the wind out of his sail. I keep saying it that was his name Wike lost out in that transaction. The one who is in charge and in control now is the president. He will broker. He doesn't have to broker. He will just say, okay, Wiki, I'm returning Sim Fubara there. Let him be. You understand?
Yes.
And call your boys to order. He will do some things, will be doing this and that for you. That's all. You understand? And then he will be in charge. And then Wiki will not dictate. You understand? Will not say, I'm delivering a reverse to you. You understand? So he will compel them at least not to work, not to antagonize each other. I need peace in Rivers. Rivers is strategic to my 2027. Wike will not disobey the president because he will be risking losing his portfolio. And if he loses that portfolio, he loses relevance. If he goes back to Rivers and start making, you just better call it. You better call it up.
Sim Fubara visited the president
in England.
And
in Nigeria. So I don't think if this emergency is renewed, it won't last another 3 months.
Do you still feel with all this parley or this meeting?
I say if it is renewed.
Okay, but there are speculations that probably it might not be renewed.
If at all it is renewed, for whatever reason, it won't last 2 months. So, and that will be 8 months. That will be a lot of time. So, and the same Fubara will be coming back stronger, believe you me.
Still on from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. There was a particular story that came out yesterday. I was discussing it earlier with you, Comrade Adejanjumbe, regarding the local government autonomy, the full financial autonomy given to the local government by the Supreme Court. But there is this particular caption that came out on the front page of The Nation yesterday, which I'd like us to talk about it. No states can receive LG funds, federal government insists. But the question I want to ask you now, does it mean that the funds have not been released to the local government funds have not been released in the past almost 6-7 months or thereabouts since that pronouncement was made by the Supreme Court?
Well, you see, I think it's a matter of semantics. The funds, that's constitutionally a jack. I've always been there since 1999. The funds is a joint account. If I'm local government and you are state, and we have a joint account, that account does not belong to the state. In fact, the states are supposed to add to it.
No, the joint account doesn't belong to the state.
It doesn't belong to the local. It's a joint account. So if you and I jointly own an account,
so all these monies have been going to the joint account.
Yes.
But between you and I, we know that these governors still have a lot of influence on this money.
It is even beyond influence. It is actually power.
I didn't want to use the word power.
It is power. Let's unmask it. Somebody told me, a local government chairman told me, monies, of course, money will drop into the local government account. And before, in a matter of 24 hours, he had gotten instructions from the state governor.
From the state governor?
Yes.
On how to, or where to
Yes.
To disburse this money,
Yes.
into.
With a matter of 24 hours.
So who is fooling who? Where's the autonomy? Where's the full financial autonomy?
You see, we are, or if we copied the American style of federalism, we are operating a warped federal union. Yes, we don't have to copy and paste, you understand? We do what is applicable and what works for us here. If we're going to be, yes, they're not federating units, but if they're going to be a third tier, they're not necessarily federating units. But if they're going to be a third tier of government, you understand? Let's do it. And for me, the interesting thing is that it will, I believe so strongly, change the face of politics in Nigeria. But for expediency, the federal government is not going through with it. For the sake of expediency, 2027, presidency of Bola Tinubu is not going ahead with it. It's just a matter of, so many things are going through the National Assembly.
What is stopping, or what is like the kind of order stopping this implementation of this Supreme Court
Because if it is
pronouncement?
implemented, the local government chairmen will become functional and therefore politically relevant.
So who doesn't want that?
The governors. Look, let me paint the scenario. There are 3 local governments that, according to the books, receive close to R1 billion every month. If I have that, no matter how big my local government is, yes, there's some discrepancy in terms of the number of teachers and schools and all of that. But that can be sorted out if they are allowed to collect and generate their own internal revenue too. So, on the political surface, I'm able to dispense favor, you understand? Everybody groans to the state government, you understand? But if local governments have such funding, not everybody doesn't have to go to the state level. Then the political class at the local level, led by the local government chairman, will become relevant and powerful. Therefore, if I am seeking to go to the House of Assembly, seeking to go to the Senate, seeking to go to the House of Reps, or even seeking to be governor, I will have to get the local government chairman on my side, because they are likely to be the ones to generate the delegates list now, because they will have been dispensing influence through the party structure and everything. So everybody does not run to the. Just imagine what that amounts to. If no local government gets less than 600 million and some get close to 1 billion, 33 local governments. Just imagine what that tallies to, and it is the governor that is dispensing it, not those who should be dispensing it. This thing amounts to power and influence, and people will naturally gravitate towards power and influence. It's like honey. So, if that power is distributed like that, those who need power at the state level, even at the national level, we have to gravitate towards where patronage is dispensed. It's just as straightforward as that. But expediency, 2027 expediency, because the governors are 36 and they're going to pull the rug from, at least with what they already have. They're going to gang up that, look, this is a gang up against us. You understand? It is not in our interest. You know what the Nigerian governors, when it comes to issue of touching governors' powers and influence, there is no party lines.
They don't like it.
There is no party lines. No party lines.
They become united.
They become united.
Definitely.
So that is the situation. We don't know what is going to happen after 2027 election, but why don't you simply amend? And then there is a constitutional logjam. The Constitution says there should be a joint account allocation committee. It's a constitutional provision. You can say the Supreme Court judgment. In fact, Professor Governance told me that that judgment has created a logjam.
That means the governors leveraged on that loophole.
Yes. And then the president needs them. The president needs them for 2027. Not necessarily the fact that they are members of his party, Okay, where are the parties now? Apart from APC. The PDP, they are pulling at each other's throats. They are trying to clubber together what they call a coalition without a platform yet. So the governors are going to look for which platform to support now. The governors will decide. Each individual governor or some governors working together, see which is the viable platform. Yeah, support LA. Because if it is a party now, is the governor of Labour the only governor of Labour? Is he still in Labour? Oti.
Oti is still there.
He's still there. So
Alex
Oti. So all of that, it's a very fluid, and that's what the president is playing around with. I mean, there's no wholesome PDP anymore. I mean, Atiku is no longer an active member. This one that I was talking now, Wiki, at the federal level, is supporting Tinubu. He said Tinubu will win FCT, that the man won 10% the other time. You know, what kind of a house is that?
Now, earlier on, Dakpo was asking you a question about Governor Emo of Akwa Ibom State, who officially defected to the APC last week. And but interestingly, there were things that happened immediately. He moved. Some of his commissioners resigned. Some members of the House of Assembly there said they are not moving anywhere with him. They are not moving to the APC. They will remain in the PDP. In Akwa Ibom. Now, are we going to say that Oberevori of Delta State had a smooth sail, moving with all his disciples, but Governor Umo Eno unable? Is that not an indication that probably Uno Emo doesn't even have that grip on his people, on his inner caucus?
I think it's probably depending on power and resources. But you know, Delta like Edo has been in PDP camp since, but it is one of those.
Because it will take a lot for you to be defecting, and your commissioners are telling you, no, we are not. Take your job.
Yes, it is not everybody that is bread and butter.
It doesn't really. It doesn't happen like that in this part of the world.
No, it is not everybody that is playing bread and butter politics. It is not. It cannot be everybody.
Everybody, okay.
Even that Delta, you know people now. You know, so people want people with Jonathan in 2014 and 2015. They stood with him, including the national chairman of the party. They worked against him, and they were with him. In Oyo State, it happened to a former governor. Twice, yes, 2 governors. They were with them. They stayed inside within the structure and worked against the party, worked against the sitting of their governor. So it is.
Now, looking at the spate of defection, comrade, because of our time, I have a lot to ask you, but I need to make sure I make use of the little time we have. Now, looking at the spate of these defections, now, do we say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have it will be a walkover for Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027?
Amola, it's not going to be a walkover.
Because it seems PDP is standing on one leg at the national level.
Assumption that 2027 will be a walkover for Tinubu will be contrary to sense and absurd. We are 2 years away from that.
PDP,
location.
Labour Party, they are in ICU. According to Gabriel Suswan, he said PDP is in the ICU and is still critically laying down in the ICU. We all know what ICU means. Intensive care unit in the hospital. It's when the ailment is critical, which is obvious.
I know.
Now, let's look at the coalition. Look at the people that are talking about coalition. Looking at I'm yet to see any individual that can be put out, even from that coalition.
What about Atiku?
Okay.
Amici, presidential material.
Okay. Strong enough to compete with Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You see, when you are saying strong enough, to compete with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but that Bola Ahmed Tinubu we are talking about requires backing
of
structures.
APC is still intact. APC is growing bigger on a daily basis, according to what we read on papers.
You see, I don't want nobody. Of course, the president.
I know 24
I'm sure
hours.
the
I know
president
24
will
hours
not-
is too much for things to
I
happen
know
when
that
it comes
the
to
president
politics.
is not going to commit that kind of error of judgment in a political space. It is not 1 plus 1. Look, in politics, in arithmetic, 1 plus 1 is 2. Eh? In politics, when you say 1 plus 1, you stand 1 by 1 and you put a plus in between. All the politician will do is just remove the plus and then it becomes 11. So it is look, 2 years to an election, almost 2 years, and you are concluding it's too dangerous.
I'm not concluding.
Nobody-
I'm just asking.
No realist does that. Look, and I know, not that I think, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not.
But you know,
commit such-
we've had so many politicians coming out to say that there is no vacancy in the House of Villa come 2027.
They are talk. The man at the center of it would not commit such grave error of judgment.
Okay. Now, another one I'd like us to join with this is this story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. It says, Serap Uriwa urged Tinubu to drop APC Rex. Fear manipulation. Now, we this is not the first time we are hearing this story when Rex will be nominated. I mean, the names of Rex will be submitted. And there will be insinuate or speculations or accusations that these people that you are appointed as Rex are party loyalists of a particular party.
And you appoint them as umpire.
So I know I've asked you this question sometime last year on this platform. Is that not enough? I mean, if my name is submitted now to be a Rec, and some people now say, okay, Damola is a confirmed member, a party carrying member of a particular political party.
Now Noche was appointed to represent our geopolitical zone. People shouted.
I didn't want to mention the name of Noche.
Yeah. People shouted and shot it down. Say, how dare you? Somebody speaking for the president right from inside the villa, you now appointed him
as a national rec.
You know, I think it is insensitivity. People just don't.
The same thing played out. Was it in Ondo or Ekiti recently before the election, the governorship election? The people I can't remember the name of the woman now, the Mujisolo or something. She was being accused of a friend of the APC candidate.
In the days of Obasanjo,
and she wasn't changed too. She went on to coordinate, at least to the best of my knowledge, to organize and to sit on that affairs of the election.
Is it Ekiti State? Yes. When only won re-election. Have you forgotten? The rec that ran away.
Yes.
That she said she was not going to declare. She just ran away. That woman was actually living in the villa, a wife to Obasanjo's cousin. Was appointed rec and was taken to Idosi. Yes, Idosi, I remember.
Where is the fair play in these elections?
I don't think people intend fair play in all of this. I'm very serious. I don't think people intend fair play.
Going back to what
they learned from
going back to what Kunobi asked you earlier on, said this politics, I mean democracy we're practicing, are we practicing it the right way? Are we developing?
We are evolving.
Or are we just moving on in circles?
We are evolving.
Evolving in what way?
Look, democracy is not an event that like the one they want to do Thursday, Democracy Day. Democracy is not an event. You see, in actual fact, people talk about Royal Empire, we govern ourselves, checks and balances. I don't think we are Democrats. You understand? I don't think by our social makeup we are Democrats. Okay, if you and I are friends now, we are in a group, and then the moment somebody is made the head of that group, it actually becomes unchallengeable. You understand? And when you're unchallengeable, then you don't have to render. I don't think accountability is part of our culture. You understand? You are generally expected to be an omoluabi, but unless you become despotic, you understand? That is when people will rise. As long as you have seen all sorts of Yoruba societies that have been depicted in movies and all of that. And it is as a result of our evolution. Even the history of Odo Empire now, despotic Alaafins, despotic people who are killing and all sorts of people. So maybe we are not just culturally a democratic people, but we are going to evolve a system of how we're going to transparently govern ourselves. Because if there's no transparency, you understand, there won't be accountability. If there is no that is the biggest problem we have. I saw Rufai Husseini asking the Minister of Works blunt, brutal, frontal question.
Dave Umahi.
Why? He asked him, so how much is the coastal highway per kilometer? It was Ruben Abati that quickly shut him down. I said, well, you can be talking about that later. I'm going to be diplomatically. He said, well, you can sort that out later. I'm going to be talking about, we have issues to discuss. You understand? Because there is no transparency.
Transparency. That's the key word. That transparency. Okay, let's go on this commercial break. We'll be right back after.
I am Malario, the king of malaria parasites. My mission is simple: to take over your body, to cause fever, chills, headache. But one thing stands in my way. Come on, come on, come on.
Effective relief from malaria. Comal on. Malaria gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult doctor.
Consistent taste for cooking mouth-watering soups, stews, and jollof. Choose wisely. Choose Gold. Terra Gold Seasoning Cube.
1 cube. Endless possibilities. Terra Gold.
No buy am. But why? No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal.
Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
How do we make our cooking come alive, oh? Pepetera. For that tasty meal where you like, oh. Pepetera. I mean, you want cook food to impress, oh. Pepetera. Hey, Pepetera, Pepetera.
Whether it's jollof or na stew, even for porridge or spaghetti, cook to impress with Pepetera.
All right, still from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. The last story I'd like us to talk about is this ground rent issue. 34 embassies risk closure Tuesday. And there is a comment I'm seeing here. It is suppressing how that embassies too are captured in the list of rent defaulters. Rent payment everywhere should be prioritized. Rent is part of what is needed to provide amenities. It is an obligation that should be kept concerning the embassies. It should be handled with caution. Okay, because of our time. So let's talk about that as we wrap things up on the program today. Embassies, Owen. 34 embassies risk closure today in Abuja.
I think that's just a reflection of, who we are. if we take ourselves for granted, others will take us for granted. Have you forgotten that Nigeria's mission in Ghana was invaded and a bulldozer was brought in and structures within Nigeria's mission in Ghana was bulldozed? I mean, it's just like the Ghanaian government bringing bulldozers across the border and bulldozing properties here. And nothing happened during the Buhari's era. Nothing happened. It was an issue that was up for this. So all of this, it's just as, what are they going to do? They won't pay attention. What are they doing to themselves? So if you leave your door open, should be, they say, so they are doing...
Because like I told you earlier on, I know Nigerian embassies in these countries cannot default when it comes to ground rent over there.
You cannot... You see, in societies that are organized and are almost mechanical, you understand? It's not as if you are an embassy. They don't know whether you are an embassy. You are just a property, you understand? It's an embassy. What's their business whether you are an embassy or whatever? You will get your due notification, you understand? Everything is almost mechanical. You understand? You will see a policeman will say, could you please kindly park and your papers please, and there you see his name, you say, John, everything is mechanical. Here you will see a policeman, you will say,
now, still talking about these embassies now, this approach that they will be closed by Tuesday, which is tomorrow, are there no other ways of going around it? Or I'm looking at, I hope this won't lead to a kind of a severing of ties between these countries.
He won't touch those embassies. They cannot just on his own. Anything that
because imagine going to the German embassy tomorrow and closing it like they did to Wadata Plaza of the PDP.
He won't do it. Anything that has to do with he knows he's being chairman of.
You feel
he's
need some
minister.
wiki. You feel need some wiki.
He won't do it. Anything that has to do with foreign missions, foreign organizations, you clear with foreign affairs. He has been local government chairman. He's a lawyer. He has been minister. He has been chief of staff. He won't do that.
Okay. All right. Well,
you clear with foreign affairs.
Okay. Our time is fast spent. Comrade, thank you very much for being a part of the program this beautiful Monday morning.
My pleasure riding with you.
All right.
Baraka de Salah.
Baraka de Salah. The holiday continues, definitely. Yes. Okay. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for a fresh edition from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Adi Tamola Lafewa. Once again, I'm saying good morning and enjoy the rest of the holiday.
The views and opinions expressed in this live broadcast are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the editorial policy of Solutions 93.9 FM.
Crying out for justice. Everyone is crying out for peace, yes. None is crying out for justice. I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. up to heaven, but none of them want to die. I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I got to get it. Equal rights and justice. I really need it. Equal rights and justice. Just give them my share. Equal rights and justice. What is due to Caesar? You better give it on to Caesar. Hey, hey, hey. And what belongs to I and I? You better give it up to I. 'Cause I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. I got to get it. Equal rights and justice. I'm fighting for it. Equal rights and justice. Everyone heading for the top, but tell me how far is it from the bottom? Nobody knows, but everybody fighting to reach the top. How far is it from the bottom?